Welcome to Africa Search for Common Ground. I'm John Machikiza, part of the team bringing you a series with a very different perspective on Africa. The news we hear about Africa is seldom good. Media reports usually focus on poverty and backwardness, war and civil strife, differences we cannot settle among ourselves, conflict we cannot resolve without violence. This series suggests that there is another Africa, an Africa made up of people working to meet the challenges and resolve the conflicts we face, to find common ground. Not always succeeding, but certainly not waiting for someone else to come to the rescue. Each Africa Search for Common Ground program will tell a story about today's Africa, about some of the pressing concerns and conflicts facing its people. Traditional journalism usually focuses on the drama of conflict itself. We will focus more on resolving conflict, people grappling with problems rather than with each other. Our stories do not always have happy endings. What they do have is a commitment to search, to explore, to reveal new possibilities and creative approaches to resolving our differences without resorting to violence. Our first story takes place in South Africa, a nation that symbolizes many of Africa's greatest hopes and greatest challenges. The world looks to South Africa as a model for the peaceful resolution of conflicts, for South Africa stands for the possibility of change without cataclysm. Yet South Africa also reminds us that change is never easy. Violence was and is a harsh reality in communities which have been torn apart. We begin our series in the township of Thokoza, outside Johannesburg. As Nelson Mandela was being released from prison, tensions were mounting between supporters of the African National Congress and those of the Inkatha Freedom Party. This was in fact a war which lasted more than 4 years and claimed more than 2,000 lives. Reflecting political tensions at national level, the conflict in fact accelerated in the run-up to the country's first democratic elections. Today, the sound of gunfire is heard less frequently in Thokoza, but the tensions and conflicts underlying the fighting remain. The former commanders of the armies on both sides, Thabo Khwaza, commander of the ANC-aligned Self-Defense Unit, and Wiseman Ndebele, leader of the Inkatha-aligned Self-Protection Unit, have started a dialogue using video cameras that they hope will lead to peace.
These men were enemies in the township of Thokoza, outside Johannesburg, South Africa. Thabo Khwaza and Wiseman Ndebele were commanders of informal neighborhood armies on opposing sides. Today they work together to mediate peace in this deeply divided community of 100,000 people.